Hello everyone. So in our last lecture we have shown you that how we can georeference different kind of satellite images with the help of QGIS software. So we have give you a demonstration on how we can georeference a topo sheet and we can georeference a image with the help of bulb map surveys. So in this lecture we will show you that how we can do the merging and mosaicing of different satellite images on the QGIS software, and then we will give you a demonstration on the shapefile generation, and we will also show you that how you can use the attribute table of different shapefiles and you can generate different kind of information of those shapefiles. So when you will open your QGIS software and you have to load the satellite data which you want to merge or mosaic. So I have opened here the satellite data of SRTM. This is the SRTM DEM. So I have opened the 5 images and I will show you that how you can first I will show you that how you can mosaic of 2 images. To mosaic 2 image, you have to first select that which 2 image you want to mosaic. So here you can see in your layer panel, here 5 images has been opened, and you can see this this is a image which is slightly little bit away from this 4 image. So to mosaic you have to choose 2 image which are non-adjacent images, and to merge you have to choose 2 adjacent images. So first I will show you the mosaicing part. For that you have to choose 2 image which are not adjacent to each other. So for this exercise I will choose 2 image. So to do the mosaicing, first you have to go to the raster option, because these are all the raster image and all the algorithm which you will use to do the mosaicing, that is in the raster option. You will find these options, these plugins in the raster options. So in the raster option, here you can see there is certain plugins are given. Here in miscellaneous option you will see that here few more options are given, such as build a virtual raster, raster information and merge. So in with the help of this build virtual raster plugin, you can mosaic 2 different image. When you will open this build virtual raster option, then you will see such type of window will open, and here in the input layer you have to select the images which you want to mosaic. So I suppose I want to mosaic 2 images. For example, this 30° and 78° longitude and 28 and 28° latitude and 80° longitude image. So for this I have selected these 2 image, and here you can see you have there is some more information that you have to give the so for example the resolution. That resolution you have to select that the average, high or lowest. So by default you will see that this is set on the average, and the another option is the virtual raster. So you have to save your file where you want to save. By default, if you are not saving your file, a virtual raster file will save in the QGIS platform only, but if you will set a directory, then on that directory your file will be saved. So to save your file you can click on this option, and here you will see that 2 options you can see over here. The save to a temporary file, that means this a temporary file will be generated and that file will be saved in your QGIS platform only. But when you will close your QGIS, and on that time your file will be you will lost your file. And if you want to permanently save your file, so you have to set a directory. For that you have to go to save to the file option, and you can give to the directory, and on that directory your file will be saved. For now I will create a temporary file, and you can once you have selected all the criteria, then you can just click on the run. So here you can see a virtual file has been generated on your layer panel, and here you can see that if suppose I close this file and this two file has been mosaic. Now you can see this is a single file has been generated, and on this single file your two file is attached, or this two file is mosaic. So similarly you can mosaic many kind of files whatever based on your interest. So you can also mosaic multiple files. So now I will show you that how you can merge two images. As I told you that to merge you have to choose those images which are adjacent to each other. So again you have to go to the raster option, and in this raster option miscellaneous you can see the merge option. With the help of this merge plugin you can merge your images. So here you have to select the input layer for which you want to merge your images. So here these four images are adjacent to each other, so I will merge these four images. So first you have to select these four images, and then here you can see the again you have to save the file. To save the file you can give the directory. For now I will save as a temporary file. So and then you have to click on the run option. So your algorithm will run, and you can see a virtual file has been generated. So this is your merge image. Earlier you can see that this was the four image. These four are four different files which are adjacent to each other. But once we have merged these images, so one single file has been generated, and that single file you can see over here. So in as I also told you in one of our earlier lecture that how you can, because this is a DEM, digital elevation model of SRTM data. So you can this is a black and white image. You can fill color in this image, and you can also generate the hillshade to get more information from your DEM. So to generate the hillshade and give the color, you have to go to the property. So once you once you are in property option, then you can see, go to this single band pseudo color. First you can generate the hillshade. So from the hillshade option you can you choose the hillshade, and here you have to give the Z value. You assign the Z factor and then simply apply. So here you can see your merge hillshade of the four SRTM image which we have merged, and we have generated the hillshade from that merge file. Now to assign the color you have to simply go to the property and choose the single band pseudo color. From the single band pseudo color you have to select the color ramp. Whichever color you are you will assign, that will apply to your DEM, and you have to just apply. So here you can see color has been assigned. And if you want to generate a hillshade color map, for that you have to first generate the hillshade, and then you have to give the color on that hillshade. You just apply the Z factor. Now make a copy of this file, duplicate the layer, and you just assign color to this duplicate layer. Single band pseudo color and the color, and from the blending color blending option you choose the multiply. So this will simply apply color on the hillshade also. So here you can see your color has been applied over the hillshade map. So this exercise although I already explained in one of our earlier lecture, so this was just a kind of revision. So now we will move a little bit further, and we will show you how we can generate different kind of shape files on this QGIS platform. This will help you during the mapping part. In our coming lecture, we will also show you that how we can map different kind of geomorphological features with the help of this DM or the digital surface model images. So we will go to the, so we will show you that how we can generate the shape files. So to generate the shape file, you first have to go to the layer option, and there is one option is the create layer. So in this create layer option, you will see that new geo package layer. This is a default format of the QGIS only, and the another option is the new shapefile layer. So you can choose this new shapefile layer, so that will generate your shapefile. But if you are choosing this new geo package layer, this will also generate a shapefile layer, but those shapefile you can only open in the QGIS platform only. But this if you are generating the shapefile with the help of this SSP format, so that format you can open on the ArcGIS as well as the QGIS. So we will create the shapefile with the help of this SSP format. So when you are opening this shapefile option, so here you can see some information you have to provide to generate the shapefiles. So first you have to few points you have to keep in mind, that the shapefiles are the vector files. So vector files means either it is a point cloud, or it is a line which are connected with the points, or a polygon which are connected with the lines. So these are all the shapefiles. So here to generate a shapefile, first I will start with the point. So point you can point shapefile you can use during the labeling of certain places. For example, if you want to label your map and you want to add the location name, in that case you have to choose the point shapefile. So to generate the point shapefile, first you have to give the name, file name, and that you have to save in a directory. To save a directory, you just choose the directory and you just give the name of the file. So I am just writing the point, and you save the file name, and then from the geometry type you have to assign that which kind of shapefile you want to generate. Either it is point, multi-point, line, or polygon. So first I will start with the point, and then you have to give the other information. For example, the reference system, for which coordinate system you want to apply on this point shapefile. So I will choose the WGS 84 because this is the this is widely used coordinate reference system. So I am choosing this one. You can based on your regional location or based on your base map, you can choose different kind of coordinate reference system, whichever is suitable to your area or your map. So now I will just click on OK, and here in the layer panel you can see a new file has been generated with the name of point. So when you will click on the when you right click over this point, here you can see another option is two option has been added. One is open attribute table and another is toggle editing, and this toggle editing you can also see over your QGIS platform. So here you can see one pen shape has been generated over here, and with this pen shape, this is also a toggle editing option. You can enable this point shapefile. The another option is the open attribute table. So your attribute table is the all the information which has been associated with this shapefile that would be saved in your attribute table. So in coming few minutes I will explain you that how you can generate your you can build your attribute table, or with the help of attribute table how you can extract information regarding your respective shapefiles. So here all these information regarding your shapefile will be saved. So to generate the shapefile for the point cloud, you have to just enable the toggle editing mode. So you just simply click on the toggle editing option, and this will enable a few symbols, and here with these symbols you can simply add the points. So here you can see one option is add point feature. So with this add point feature you can simply mark the point. For example, if I want to add a location on this map, suppose this is a region called Haldwani. So if I want to give a name on this particular region, so I have to just click over this location, and once you are clicking over this location, a new pop-up window will open, and this will ask you to give the ID. So you can start with the 1, and this is random number, you can assign any number. These numbers are basically associated with this point shapefile which you have just generated. So I am giving 1, and you can click OK, and here you can see 1 point has been marked over here. And with the help of your attribute table, you can see that in your attribute table 1 point has been generated with the ID 1. And if suppose you want to give a name on this point, so you have to simply add a new field. Here you can see that only ID is present right now, but you have to generate a new field on this attribute table to give a location name. For that, here you can see on this attribute table option certain features are given, and with this help with this feature you can simply select, deselect, delete, copy, paste of your shape files, and you can also generate a or add a new field. Here in this with this help of new field you can add a new field. So you have to give the name of the field. So suppose I want to just add the location, so you have to give the location and then type, which type of information you want to add on this field, so that you have to choose with this type. So suppose I want to give a text type of information on this location, because your location would be your a kind of name, right? Then on that case you have to choose the text. Suppose you want to assign a numerical number, on that case you either choose the whole number or decimal number. Or suppose you want to assign a certain kind of information which is related to date, so on that case you can choose the date option from this type menu. So for this case I will choose the text, because I want to assign the location name. And you can also give the length of your text. So you can keep it whatever length you want to assign on your name, so you can accordingly choose the length of the text. Now click on OK, and here you can see a new field has been added on your attribute table, and you can assign a name to this attribute table. Simply you write a name, and that will add a name to your location. You save your attribute table. So you simply click on the save option, and now you can see your location name has been added on the point. So likewise you can add more point. Wherever you want to add a point, you can simply click over there, and a pop-up will open, and that will ask you to provide some information. So now because we have added a new field location, so now you can see location is also showing on this pop-up option. Now I can give it this to ID number 2, and location is, for example, this is Ramnagar, so I will just assign Ramnagar. So here you can see 2 point has been added. And suppose you want to label the location on your map, so you have to simply go to the properties option, and with this property option you can see that there is one option label just below the symbology. So you can click over there, and now it is now by default it is on the no label option. You have to change this no label to the single label, and when you click on the symbol label, now you have to assign the you have to choose the location from the drop down menu, and once you have selected the location and simply apply, so now you can see your map has been labeled. You can see over here, if you can also change the color from the label menu. Here you can see the text and you can see the color option. From the color option you can simply change the color whichever is suitable to your map. So you can assign the color. Now you can see Ramnagar and Handlowani is labeled on your map. So with the help of this point cloud or the point shapefile option, you can generate the point shapefile, or you can, as well as you can with this attribute table you can label your location in case you want to add location on your map. Now we will go to the second exercise of generation the line shapefile. To generate the line shapefile, you have to go to the layer option and create layer. Again you have to generate a new shapefile. Earlier we have chosen the point from the geometry type. Now we have to choose the line. First you have to assign the file name. So I will just give the name line, and from the geometry type you have to choose the line option, and you have to also choose the coordinate reference system, which is WGS 844326 projection code, and you just click on OK. So now on the layer panel you can see that one layer has been added, that is line, and with this toggle editing mode you can enable this line, and here you can see one option with this add line feature you can simply draw the line. So line would be used during the suppose in case you want to draw the faults, or you want to draw the roads, or any kind of linear feature if you want to draw over your map. So this line linear vector file, you have to use this linear vector file. So suppose I want to just add a simple line. So to draw the line you have to just first once you enable this toggle editing mode, so here you can see one symbol which is used to draw the line has been showing over your map panel. So you just simply click with the help of your mouse. So because the default color is red, so I just disable this map dem. Now you can see this with the help of your mouse you can simply draw the line. So to stop the line or drawing option, you have to right click on your mouse. Once you right click, so a pop-up will come and it will ask you to enter the ID. So you can simply put 1, and here so this line has been drawn, and you can see this information on the attribute table. So you have to open the attribute table. Here you can see one feature has been added, and you can also add another field. For example, I want to just get a length for this line. So you simply add a field name length, and then you choose the type. Because length is a numerical number, so I will choose the whole number from the type option, and I will just click on OK. So here you can see length has been added, and you can simply calculate the length of this line with the help of field calculator. So in here in attribute table, one option is add field calculator, and when you will open the field calculator, here you can see, so two options are given. One is create new field and update existing field. So with this help of field calculator, you can create a new field and you can generate the information. For example, I want to get the length for my shapefile. So you can directly create your shapefile, directly create a new field called length over here, or you as we did, we first created the added the new field and then we will calculate the length. So for our case, we will choose the update existing field. So on this update existing field, from the drop down menu, here you can see two options are given. One is ID or another is length, because our attribute table is only two field, which is ID and length. So I want to get the length for my shapefile, so I have to choose the length option. And once you have chosen the length option, here you can see the row number, certain options are given. From the geometry, you will see the area, and you will also see the length. So you have to go to the here you can see the length. Once you are double clicking over on the length, here at the bottom left corner you can see the preview option. Here your length has been calculated. So once you are clicking on OK, so your length will be added on your attribute table. So here you can see this is your length. So now you have to save this attribute table from the save icon. You minimize this, and similarly you can draw multiple lines or whatever you want to do. You can create any kind of linear features, so that you can do with this linear shapefile. So you have to save this shapefile whichever you have generated. Now we will generate a vector file. Now we will generate a polygon. So to generate a polygon, again you have to go to the create layer and then new shapefile, and you have to assign the name. So I have chosen the name, and then you have to choose the geometry type, that would be your polygon, and the coordinate system is WGS 84, and click on OK. So polygon, to create a polygon, here you can see on the layer panel we have just added a new layer which is called a polygon. So you just right click, or you can simply go to the toggle editing mode or enable your polygon option. Once you enable your polygon option, here you can see add polygon feature is enabled, and with the help of this add polygon feature you can simply draw polygon. So polygons are basically connected with the lines. So to draw a polygon, you use your mouse and you just simply click, and here you can see whatever shape you want to generate, that you can generate with the help of polygon. And once you are done with your mapping, or you want to stop your polygon digitization, so you have to just right click, and once you are right clicking, a pop-up will come and that will ask you to ID. So you just give any random number. So here you can see by default it is filled with a yellowish color, but you can change your color with the help of property option. Once you are going to the property, here you can see whichever color you want to assign in your map, that would be you can do with the help of property. So you can see your color has been changed. So suppose you can add different polygon with this with the help of this feature. Now suppose I have generated this two polygon, and you want to do certain kind of things with this polygon feature, that you will see this is a vector option, because all the files which we have generated, either it is point, it is line, or polygon, these all files are vector files. So whatever algorithm you want to assign or whatever shapes you want to create with the help of this vector file, that the plugins you will see on the vector option. So in this vector option, here you can see on the geoprocessing tool, and this geoprocessing tool has been consist with the some more options. For example, if you want to dissolve this to vector file, so you can do this simply clicking with this with the help of this dissolve function. So once you are clicking over this dissolve function, here you can see you have to assign the input layer, so that would be your polygon, and you can simply dissolve your this 2 image. Now here you can see a new file has been added named dissolve, and you can see this 2 file has been dissolved. Earlier this was the 2 different file, and you can simply select this 2 file with the help of this this option, select feature by area or single click. Once you are enabling this option and you simply click over your file, so you can see this file is selected. So how you will know that your file is selected? You can see this cross in each corner of your file. These are basically node points, and each node points are showing in a cross, and your shape is filled with yellow color. So that means your file is selected. So you can also select different shape file with the help of this option. So this was the 2 different shape file. Once you dissolve this is a single shape file. So it is converted to a single shape file. Similarly, few more options are given here. You can use this option and you can see what you can generate any kind of shapes according to your interest. For example, there is another option, union. So that what it will do, it will just create a union with union of this 2. It will create a union of this 2 different shape file. So you can click on the union option and you can simply click on run, and here you can see this is your union of for this 2 shape file. So this was for the vector layers. Now you can also use this raster option. You can explore this raster option, and here you will also see many different kind of options which you can use to create your maps or get the more information. For example, suppose I want to get a particular set of for example, I want to get a small portion of this map for my use or my research or interest, so that you can use you can get this portion of map by the clipping of this area. So how you can do that? You can simply use this shape file. You have to use this raster option, and here you can see from the extraction you can clip your map. So in extraction there is 2 option. One is click raster by extend. That means you have to, when you are enabling this option, you have to assign the input layer. So I want to get file from my merged file. So this is my file from where I want to get a fraction of map, and in clipping extent you can use 3 options are given. One is calculate from layer, another is use map canvas, that will use your entire map, and another is draw on canvas. So you can simply draw that which fraction of map you want to use for your interest. So I want to just get this much of map. So here you can see your latitude and longitude has been assigned over your input image, and you can once you are clicking on run, so you can see this map has been generated. So if I just disable this map, so now you can see this map has been generated by the clipping method. So this is also a DEM, but this DEM is a small fraction of the map which we have merged. And the another option was, suppose this was our map and you want to get a fraction from this map, so that you can use that you can get from the shapefile. So for example, I have to just create a polygon. So to create a polygon, you have to simply go to the polygon option and enable the polygon, and you draw whichever fraction you want to get. So once I draw, you just give a random number and click, and you select this polygon. Once you selected, and now you go to the raster option and extraction, and the first we extracted the map with the help of clip raster by extend. Now we will show you that how you can clip your map with the help of mask layer, that is your vector layer. So once you open this, you have to choose your input layer and now polygon. So you can see here I have drawn several polygons. So I want to just get a fraction for this my selected layer. So you have to enable this selected feature only, and you have to just assign the no data value 0 and you click on the run. Here you can see your map has been generated. So with the help of this clipping option, you can get a particular set of map from your region of interest. So we will stop here, and in next lecture we will show you how we can generate the anaglyph with the help of Cartoset images. Thank you.